Hello guys, just a short video for you today. I thought I would answer a question that I've been asked a few times and which I've seen discussed on quite a few model forums and YouTube channels and so on, and that is, how do you pack models for transport? Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you might know that last year I relocated from Johor in Malaysia back to the UK. And of course, as a modeller, I've got a certain fondness for my models. I didn't particularly want to throw them all in the bin, so I had to try to make sure that they could be packed in a way which would survive that 11,000 kilometre journey. And because I moved to a fairly small place when I moved back to the UK, the vast majority of my materials stayed in cardboard boxes in my garage, and I never unpacked them to see if they survived the journey. However, recently I've moved into a bigger place, and so I got to unpack those boxes, and I thought I would record that process of unpacking them to see just how they have survived. So let's have a look. So here's one container that the removals company used to pack my models, and I'll show you how they pack them, because I was suggesting using bubble wrap. I suggested maybe using that technique with the foam where you use skewers to keep models in position. But the removals company insisted on using this packing paper, and I was quite dubious about that. But they seemed to know what they were doing, and they seemed quite insistent. And they are the professionals, of course. So this is not my fish and chip supper. This is one of my models in here. So let's have a look. I'm recording this commentary after the fact, but this is genuinely me unwrapping them for the first time. I've no idea what's in here. It does seem to get smaller and smaller as we unwrap the paper. I was trying to keep this from flipping over, trying to keep it the right way up as I unwrap the paper around it. The removals company did say, be very, very careful when you unwrap them. And it's my Lotus 99T from Tamiya. This is a kit you've not seen on the channel, but look at that, that has survived. It's got a missing wing mirror, but to be honest, it may well have had a missing wing mirror when I packed it. That's pretty impressive, that. The rear wing, the front wing, the suspension, all intact. And that is genuinely the first kit that I pulled out of that box. Let's have a look at another one. Again, quite a lot of paper around there. They've definitely, I was really impressed with the way the company sort of took these models seriously. I mean, they actually wrote toys all over the boxes, but they obviously looked after my gear here. They didn't just dismiss it as some plastic toys. It doesn't matter if they get smashed up. And here's another F1 car. It's my Red Bull. Yeah, this one didn't quite survive as well as the Lotus. That rear wing's damaged and the front wing's damaged. But to be fair, I mean, that's extremely delicate, isn't it? I mean, I've dusted these before and the front wing's fallen off. So I think a little bit of super glue and that front wing will go back together and go back onto the nose. The wheels can be, I think one of the suspension arms has come out of the wheel, and again the rear wings come off, but they've come off intact there. They haven't broken completely. Something slightly awkward about that rear wheel as well. Okay, so one 100% and one less than 100%, but definitely recoverable. And one thing I had to do when I was unpacking these as well is just make sure there's a little bit of plastic there in the corner, make sure everything is out of that paper. I've no idea what that is actually, where that came from, but it is something you need to keep, just in case, because it will go somewhere. And I'll realise where it goes about 5 minutes after the bin men come to collect the bin, so I'll keep that safe. I think I'm going to keep all that packing paper actually to line my airbrush booth, so I don't get overspray all over it. Right, let's look at one more from this box. It seems to be a box of F1 cars. It's a bit like Christmas actually. I haven't seen these models for, well, over a year and a half now. Oops, sorry for the camera work there. Or the unwrapping work. Okay, this is the Jordan. You can tell immediately because the front wing is falling out of the paper. This one's taken a bit of a hit too, I think, hasn't it? Oh, yeah, that one's taken a bit of a hit. Again, to be fair, the front wing was never in a great condition. Again, this is a model that you haven't seen because I built this long before my YouTube channel. So that front wing's broken, and I can tell also as I tried to pick the car up here that those blue side pod pieces as well are loose. They're no longer attached to the floor of the car. That's taken a bit of a hit, that one. That rear wing's pretty shattered too. Weirdly, the wing mirrors are still intact. Still salvageable, I think. Anyway, let's move on. Let's look at one more. So again, I think this is the size and shape of an F1 car. And what's this? I can just untuck this paper from underneath it. And it is the Lotus. The Lotus 10, is it the 102D or the 107? I forget now. 102D, I think. With both the wing mirrors missing, or off, should I say, but handily placed right next to the kit. And that front left wheel there is just slightly out, but it's just unclipped from the suspension arm. You couldn't clip it back in. Again, another model that you guys haven't seen because it was built before my channel. As you can tell, it's not the highest standard, but I had fun building it. Love my F1 cars. I mean, that's basically perfect, isn't it? Right, I won't bore you with looking at every single F1 car, but here's another example. My Lotus 25, is this? Yeah, I think it is. Look at that, absolutely perfect. Exhaust, suspension, mirrors, prime candidates for damage, absolutely fine. Ferrari F92, I think. Again, beautiful, even the wing mirrors intact, nice and solid. That survived. What else do we have? Okay, my Braun tool, you've seen this one before. Nose cone missing. No big deal, that will go straight back on with a tiny smidgen of super glue. And in fact, its sister car, the 019, again, nose cone missing the same way, and I think an unclipped suspension arm there so the wheels are not parallel. Not a bad result there from the F1 cars, which are probably the most delicate of my models. Let's have a look inside another box. This box is too big to show on the workbench, so anyway, there's the box. They're sort of layered on top of each other with layers of paper between them. Let's have a look in here. I've got a feeling there's some armour in here. This is a big bundle. This is definitely king-size fish and chips. Oh, but a lot of that is packaging, okay. Let's have a quick look. It's not that heavy. And this is my Lee, my Australian Lee. That turret's come off, but I left that off. It's a full interior kit, so I left off the turret and the top plate and so on. That looks like it survived pretty well. Oh, that's a couple of pieces. There's a couple of pieces floating around inside, I think. There we go. We've got the hatch there, so I mean, that's again an easy one, isn't it, the hatch? But yeah, that turret was already detached. It was deliberately left off so you could look inside it. Wow. I forgot I built this kit actually, but that is not too shabby at all. We'll just readjust that gun to hide the fact that I didn't paint behind that mantlet. That's looking good, that I'm happy with that. Let's have a look inside the kit as well. So as I say, all these parts are separate deliberately. There we go, and the interior has survived. I suppose it would do really, wouldn't it? Oh, well happy with that. And I forgot I built this kit. I love interior kits. I need to make another one soon. Brilliant. Right, let's look at one more. Okay, this one is a beast. And I can see green scatter in amongst the paper right now. Genuinely don't know what this would be. Ah, there we go. It's our elephant. And that has survived. There we go, the gun's been knocked, but it's not broken. Wow. The foliage looks a little bit second-hand, but well, it has been chopped down and attached to a tank, so what do you expect? Wow, is that complete? There's nothing in the paper there except the bits of greenery. Beautiful. Is there anything inside? I don't think anything's rattling around. Alright. Elephant. I think the elephant and the Lotus 99 are the best ones so far. One more over here. Oh yes, lovely, yeah, my Jagdtiger. I love this kit. I'm still not 100% sure of the camo scheme, it's a bit weird, but you know what, actually I quite like it. We've lost the machine gun at the back, I think, although the support for the machine gun seems to be standing still. Oh, there we go. One of the track, there's a machine gun as well, and one of the track sections has just dropped out. That's fine. Things like that, I mean, it's been stored in a cold garage for, you know, over a year. You know, the glue could quite easily perish. It might not be the transport that's done that. Let's have a look at another one. Hopefully it's not too boring for you guys. I'm just sort of looking through my models here and reminiscing. I hope this is useful for you to see how they've been packed. And one more. Ah, it's my 1/72 scale Panzerlock train. That's a cool little kit, I really enjoyed that, and I've got a great diorama idea for this as well. That's also survived. Those sort of mirror kind of things on the side have survived perfectly. Brilliant. Right, one more. Last one, probably. This is heavy, this one. Ah, and that is why. It is the King Tiger with full interior. Beast of a kit. So look. Try and get the old turret off. There we go. Wow, I did quite a lot of weathering on the inside of that, didn't I? More than I do these days. Quite a lot of oil stains and stuff. Yeah, I think that survived as well. I really like this kit. It's one of my favourite builds, to be honest. I need to build a new one of these, but I can't be buying more kits. Oh, tell a lie, a few bits fell off, look. We've got a hatch there and a little wheel that looks like it came from somewhere deep inside. I'm calling that a victory. If that's all that came off the King Tiger, then I'm a happy man. Right guys, at this point I'm going to cut away from just showing me unwrapping things, so it can't be that exciting. But I do want to show you some of the results of my other kits that I did unpack. I spent probably an entire afternoon and evening unpacking everything. Here's my Zero diorama. Survived perfectly. Again, lots of sort of bits of green foliage that have fallen off and are now on the water or now on the aircraft wings. But yeah, survived perfectly. Great job from the packers there. I look back at this and think, I wish I could improve it now and go back and fix some things, but still really happy with this dio and the fact that it survived. This next one was a little bit of a disaster. To be honest, I mean, these were going to be the worst ones, the snow dioramas. This is my SMK. I mean, to be fair, with white powder leaking out a package, you know, a model being damaged is the best thing that could happen at immigration, isn't it? Somehow, I don't know how, but my SAS Desert Jeep has ended up in this diorama. And it's now got a bit of a snow camo scheme on it, and it's lost a wheel. It's also run over a reindeer and a couple of snow-based, ski-based soldiers. That's going to be a royal pain to get the snow off that. We'll see. Maybe it could be going through the salt plains of Bolivia. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, these have survived. The figures have survived fine. The tanks survived fine. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Of course, the snow is going to be damaged. What do I expect? Now here's an aircraft, and this one really impressed me. I was very impressed that the canopy in that open position survived. The nose landing gear didn't, and the wing pylons didn't, but the rest of the aircraft did. And again, that's a small fix to put the weapons back on. Similar kind of thing on my Harrier. Again, this was before my channel. The landing gear at the end of the wings came off, everything else A1. This is the old Tamiya kit, by the way. It's I bought it not realising what a bad kit it was, but I had fun building it. We also lost a bit of the pitot tube there. A couple of other armour pieces that survived perfectly. So the Jagdpanther here, I'm really glad this survived. This was the last model I built before I left Malaysia, and I've got a really nice idea for a diorama it's going to go into. I say that for everything I know. And this was a Panther, sorry, not a Panther, Panzer IV, wasn't it? And I hated the turret, so I converted it into this sort of ammunition carrier. And this survived. How did those metal racks at the back survive? I mean, they barely survived standing on my shelf. But yeah, very happy with that. And last but not least, something that probably didn't survive very well, although it was never really going to, was the Heinkel 111 with a Spitfire chasing it. This is one of my most popular videos for a long time. I mean, looking back at it now, what was I doing using clear sprues to support that? I should have used some acrylic rods. We've lost quite a few bits from the underside of the H11 here, so you can see the nose glass and everything. But again, that's not too bad to fix. The propellers come off, but that's fine as well. In fact, I'm going to upgrade it. I'm going to get rid of those clear bits of sprue, get some proper acrylic rod in there, and make this decent again. Really happy with the paintwork on this actually, particularly that ocean. I really do like that. So there we go, guys. That was me reminiscing about my old models as I unwrapped them from some boxes. But I hope it was quite useful for you. It just goes to show that something as simple as packing paper, just wrapped gently around these, can really take care of your models. Of course, I should probably also bear in mind that my stuff was shipped from Malaysia. It wasn't sent via air freight. So, you know, it was picked up, it was thrown on, well, not thrown on, it was put on a pallet, driven by road to a warehouse, and then onto a ship, and then obviously at the other end, onto the road again. So I feel like it probably didn't have quite as many knocks and bangs as it would have done if it were on air freight. And of course it was part of a much bigger shipment because I had you know, clothes and everything else in there as well. And it went with my friend's stuff, so there's some furniture there as well. So obviously it's a lot harder to throw around a container than it is to throw around like a box for air freight. But nevertheless, I am really happy with that, and I'm glad that most things have survived. Nothing was a write-off, that's the main thing. So now I just need to get everything onto some shelves. And then perhaps once I've got my model room sorted, I shall post a couple of pictures onto my community tab. So I hope that video was useful to you. Before I go, let me say a big thank you to everyone for watching, and a special thanks to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. All of your support through 2022 has been much appreciated, and I wish you all the best for 2023. I do have a few builds in progress at the moment, and I haven't forgotten about the Spitfire either. So I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.